Okay, good morning, sweetheart. What I thought I'd do, I've been a bit concerned about you, and it's not for anything that's anything more than the simple shit that's going on in life right now. So when I saw you and we got together this week, I had already been um, thinking about you and realizing that there's some strife going on in the back of your mind and so on. So on the 13th, I've got these reports that I'll send you today. On the 13th, I ran a full body scan on you. And some of the things that came up that showed me pretty well straight away that I was thinking, right, you know with the body scan, what the body scan does, it does chakra opening and all those sort of things, and then a complete scan to clean you and clean, just sort of clear things away energetically around you. But what came up on the psych report was what I thought was going on. The actual, I'm going to read it to you. What was going on up there was impatience, guilt, lack of devotion, guilt again, lack of wish for life, disorientation, boredom, and not loving oneself. Okay, so those are kind of, as you know, these things come and go typically, whatever, but I, knowing and I'm connected quite close to you and I can see and feel how you feel. So knowing that, there were things going on, you'd already told me before that you'd had all these little bits and pieces. This was after the conversation that we had. You told me all the stuff that had been going on. So I sensed that at that stage, right, there's some issues going on here, and I know, that I know little bits and pieces about some of the stuff that you've been going through. You've been going through a lot, but what I wanted to do is to say to you, okay, so that's what I ran initially. So there's some little this lack of wish to life and all that sort of thing. It's a typical depressing sort of situation, and you're a pretty conscious person, so those sort of things are happening. The limiting belief program, this was run on the 13th as well. This is part of the. It's got I'm not in charge of my thoughts and feelings. I'm not in charge of my thoughts and feelings again. So obviously pretty strong. It's a double hit on that. I'm locked in my body. I'm not loved. I'm controlled by others. I'm not relaxed. I'm wrong to be angry. I'm bored. Okay, so again, these things are typical things that roll up, but by the same token, they confirm for me, initially, that there's just what you're going through. All it was a confirmation because I know what you're going through. So, and I know, in a circumstance you're in, you've got a good load on you, and there are probably things that that have happened right across the board, all sorts of nonsense that's gone on in your life, that accumulates over time, particularly at this age where you are now in a situation where, this stage of life, you've got kids and you've got, mortgages and you've got shit happening around you, all the nonsense that's happening around you at the moment and all that sort of stuff. And all the balances and things, that worry you a little bit about it, they can get you down, particularly if you've, I sense, and I'm not being negative here, but I sense in the relationship you have with your husband, he's a busy kind of guy, and it can be a struggle sometimes to have really with people who are highly technical and focused on those sort of things. Sometimes, look, everyone has it. Doesn't matter what relationship you're in. Some people have. You've got yourself in one place, somebody else has got themselves in another place. They have the same things going on. Your husband's got the same things going on in his mind as you have. He's got his own worries and his own issues and whatever. Some people are good communicators, others are not quite so good communicators, and so you don't get this flow going on necessarily easily. But to go back to you, and let me just go beyond this, and what I wanted to do this morning was then I ran a day later. I ran another set of, on the 14th, I ran another set of limiting beliefs and psych blockages. And the psych on the 14th, a day later, came up quite different, much shorter, okay? Not loving oneself, unhappy, loneliness, allowing oneself happiness, ego, and feelings of not being loved. Okay, so quite different, you can see. None of this, the clearing that happened at the first one a day before has wiped out a lot of that other stuff anyway, but from a top end. So now we've got something that's shorter, not quite as dramatic, still just feeling some issues. And in the limiting belief area, again, we have just a different set, not quite so intense as the last ones, because you'd had clearing the day before. I'm not creative. I'm heartsick at how life has disappointed me. Okay, I can see, those sort of thoughts come up. I'm not empowered. I'm just circling the drain. That one's not a good one, of course. I'm locked in my body. I'm judged. I'm not appreciated. Okay, so again, those have changed from the previous ones and so on. But in general, you've got the weight. You've got the weight on your shoulders in terms of what you're going through at the moment. A lot of the journey you feel is in your head, and there's not a lot of good support around you. You're smart enough to, as you said, to have realised, hey, I don't need the extra load of a whole bunch of people, family and whatever around me to add extra load. But it doesn't necessarily help you so much if if you're still going through a lot of this stuff in your head and so forth, and taking on, the potential drama of it. And that's the last thing I want to say this morning is, look, there's a lot of potential drama. The way out of this is, I don't know whether you've still got your numbers documents that I gave you, but they're ideal at these sort of times, because when you have a load on like this, and sometimes things get to you, believe me, everyone has it, me included. Everyone has these things, and the access to the way out of them is to understand and realize that none of this shit that's going on is real. It's not as real as these glasses. It's not as real as this pen. These are things that are back over there in the past that we naturally, as just a course of living, we tend to bring these things forward when things mount up, and relive them and have them mix in tragedies and hassles and things that have gone wrong, and impressions and things where things haven't gone right for you and they've been dramatic. And we tend to go and relive these things instead of going, fuck that. It does me no good, drives me down, and particularly considering it's not real. It's recreated rubbish. What is real is the things that you can be grateful for and go to powerfully within yourself, because it'll tend to then marginalize and put these non-real things aside anyway. The real things are the healthiness real healthiness, and the real opportunity, and the things that you've got to be grateful for. Your house, your opportunity, your brain, your heart, all those beautiful things that you have that I recognize and everybody who loves you recognizes. So, and look, it's just a matter of choice. The shit you can go and wander into the cesspool of trauma and past, or you can say, fuck that, I'm going to take the left path here. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to breathe the air. I'm going to look for a reason to be grateful for the things that I have, and really organize yourself to be thinking and motivated by the gratitude of the good things in your life. There are good things. There's a lot of good things in your life. Sometimes we allow this bullshit to overgrow it, and next thing you know, you go into a spiral. And the spiral doesn't help you, and actually certainly doesn't help your health, because you then start sticking things into your mouth that you're not to relieve, to get rid of this tension and so forth. Deliberately, each time, whenever you feel this coming on or whatever, with these feelings or whatever, or a bit of panic or whatever, oh shit, do a couple of things, do one or two things, right? Breathe, sit up straight, stand up straight, breathe, walk, move. That sort of stuff. I mean, you'd be surprised how it is. And then go outside and go in the garden. or go outside and just have a wander or whatever it may be, and think of some of the things, one, that you've achieved. I've seen you achieve amazing things already. You've achieved, and the things that you have got to look forward to be grateful about. Stay there. Find a reason to stay there, because that's where you need to be calling back to, rather than the rubbish on the other side that's going to annoy you and drive you crazy. All right, now the other thing is, look, feel free at any stage. Give me a buzz if you want to talk. You and I can talk about, hey, how things are and whatever. But if you do have a situation that gets a bit of a bugger for you, give us a call. Now, the work that we're doing already, the stuff that I've cleared and all whatever, that's going to help you. It's going to continue to help you. Oh, by the way, come and get your pendant, okay, at some stage or other. I hope you enjoyed the day, Dale.